We are going to begin a little bit differently today. We're going to start in child's pose. I know child's pose is not that accessible for everyone, so grab props as needed. You could sit on a block. You could have a bolster, pillows underneath your chest or upper body. You could also place a block underneath your head to support your neck. So you're kind of adding props as needed to make this more accessible for your knees, for your hips, for your back. Everybody's kind of had these chest colds, head colds, chest illnesses. Child's pose is one of the best poses to kind of get into breathing into your lungs. So a lot of the time when we're lying on our back, that breath sort of focuses on the diaphragm, the front of the body. Child's pose opens up the back of the body and allows the lungs to breathe a little bit easier and a little bit deeper. So that is why we're starting in child's pose today. So again, add props as needed. Sometimes just a simple blanket between the knees. The back of the knees can help to open up the knees a little bit if you're a little tighter. Again, you could always sit on a block, place a block underneath your forehead to support your neck. If none of these options are okay for you, you can start on your back with your knees into your chest. Again, this way just sort of gets you a little more into the breath in the back side of the body. So I won't have you here too much longer, just another 6 to 8 breaths to really focus on breathing into the back of the body, the back of the rib cage, the space between the shoulder blades. Allowing the shoulders to fall heavy, the head to be heavy. Evening out inhales with exhale. Steady breath in, steady breath out. Just another couple of breaths here. If your arms were back, start to reach the hands forward, placing the palms to the floor. You rock your head side to side a couple of times, giving your forehead a massage, the space between the eyebrows. And then palms to the mat. We'll slowly make your way forward into hands and knees. Take your time to get there. Maybe removing props. We won't be on hands and knees too long today. We're going to take 5 rounds of cat and cow basic version. So inhaling to draw the chest forward, lower your belly, lift your tail. Exhaling, tucking the tail, rounding the spine, change the chest. Toes could be tucked or untucked. You can also alternate the tuck of the feet as well with the inhale and exhale. Just do what feels best for your back. Sometimes when my back is feeling really tight, keeping the toes tucked feels the best. So just a couple more rounds here. Finish whatever round of breath you're on. You'll take a full breath in, full breath out in neutral. And then we're going to take 5 breaths of reverse cat-cow. This time as you inhale, round the back into cat, sending the spine to the ceiling, tucking the chin to the chest. You'll exhale into cow now, chest forward, belly down, tail up. So again, press the floor away, inhale, finding cat pose. Exhale, cow pose. Another 3 or so more rounds here. about one more full round of breath. And then we'll come to seated now, shifting the knees to the side. Bring your legs around and forwards out in front of you. Extend both of your legs forwards. Give yourself a little wiggle side to side. Then we're going to bend the right knee, hugging your right knee into your chest. Sit up nice and tall, as if you're trying to hug or lift the chest rather higher than the right knee. Hug the knee in just a little bit deeper. And then we'll extend the right leg forward, switch sides. So now you're just going to hug the left knee into the chest, sit up nice and tall, trying to lift the chest higher than the knee, and then hug the knee a little deeper. So kind of like we do when we're on the back, just this time from a seated position. Go ahead, re-extend the left leg forward. We're going to hug the right knee in one more time. We're going to set the right foot down on the floor, and then place the hands just behind your hips. You're going to scoot the hips a little bit forward in front of you. This can help to reset the hip flexors. So if you have the right knee bent and you get a lot of cramping or resistance in the inner right hip, sometimes just scooting the hips forward can help to release a little bit. From there, take your left forearm, wrap it around the front of the right shin, place the right fingertips or palm just behind your right hip, twist, look over the right shoulder. Think about that hand being there to help you keep lengthened. So resist the urge to lean back into the fingertips. Still sit tall, try to lift the chest higher than the knee, and then maybe twist an inch deeper. Full breath in. Full breath out. Good. We'll release the twist, extend the right leg, bend the left knee, hug the left knee to the chest. Set the left foot down, take the hands behind the hips, and you're going to give your hips just a little scoot forwards towards the heel. From there, we'll take the right forearm around the front of the left shin, the left palm just behind the left sit bones or fingertips, and then twist, look over your left shoulder. Take one more breath here. You'll inhale to release. And then extend the left leg forwards out in front of you. Again, give your hips a little wiggle side to side. And now we're going to grab both of your blocks and set up for chest opener or supported fish pose. So you're going to take one of those blocks, place it lengthwise across your mat, so it's kind of parallel to the mat. You can be on the second setting or the first setting. Do what feels most comfortable for you. And then that second block will be an option to go underneath your head. So level 2, you're going to have the head hanging below the heart. That can cause some dizziness. So you have the option to add that second block under your head. You also have the option to move the block further down. So rather than your block going across the shoulder blades, you're going to move it down a couple inches so it actually lines up with the base of the rib cage. That'll lift the rib cage a little higher, drop the shoulders a little further back for a bit deeper of a back bend. So again, you'll set yourself up either lowest setting or second setting on the block. Block either across the shoulder blades or the base of the rib cage. Head again onto a block, or if it's comfortable and it causes no lightheadedness, head to the floor so it's just slightly below the heart. Arms can be in any position that's comfortable for the shoulders. So you can have the arms out in an A position, maybe you're closer to the body. You can also reach the arms overhead for a little bit more if that's okay for the shoulders. And then legs extended if okay for the low back. If that's too much for the low back, you keep a bend in the knee. We're going to be here for about 8 more breaths. Good. Couple more breaths here. And to move the arms into a neutral position. So they're there to help support your body. Start to bend the knees so that your feet are to the floor. We're going to roll to one side. You can choose right or left. You'll take a few breaths on that side, especially if you have no block under your head. Let the blood sort of move back away from the head. Remove the block that was behind your back, set it to the side, but keep it within reach of your mat. So we're going to use it again. And then again, we'll take about 5 breaths on whichever side you rolled onto, just allowing the body to kind of come back a little bit more towards neutral. Slowly start to roll yourself onto your back once again. Now, completely on the back, give your knees a quick hug into your chest. Rock yourself a little side to side, back and forth. Feel free to draw some circles with your knees. Keep your knees bent. Place your feet on the floor. With the feet on the floor, we're going to come now into supported bridge with your block. So feet flat to the mat. You're going to take that block now, slide it underneath the hips across the sacrum. Again, you could go lowest setting or second setting. Don't go highest setting. Making sure the low back is completely supported. And before you get into this position, you're going to have an optional MFR or myofascial release with your tennis ball. So before you have the hips lifted and the weight comes more towards the neck, go ahead and grab your tennis ball. Again, this one is going to be completely optional. So you could just do the supported bridge, block underneath the hips, shoulders to the floor, arms down beside you. For a second option, we're going to add a tennis ball behind your right shoulder to begin. So you're going to lift that right shoulder, placing the tennis ball behind the right shoulder about an inch down from the base of your neck, and then an inch or 2 in from the neck as well. So it kind of goes into that divot between the top of your shoulder blade and the very top of the shoulder itself. And then option there is just to let the arm fall wide. Second option is to let the arm come over the head, or you're going to lift and lower the right arm. So we'll be on the right arm, the right shoulder for about 6 to 8 breaths, and then we'll switch sides. So quite a while with the block under the hips. If your low back starts to argue with you after a little while, you can remove the block and just have the hips on the floor to do the shoulder part. And again, the shoulder part is just an option. So you can always just pull the supported bridge without the tennis ball as well. Remember not to turn the head. And again, we're going to be on the right side a couple more breaths. So I'm moving my arm, but again, you could keep the arm in any static position that feels good as well. You could use move the shoulder blade rather a little up and down. So kind of like you were lifting the right shoulder, lowering the right shoulder. So you're rolling the tennis ball around as well. There are lots of different options for movement. Last few breaths here. Good. We're going to reach back. Remove the tennis ball from underneath the right shoulder. Lower the right shoulder to the mat. Take a couple little shoulder circles as if you were circling the shoulder blade on the mat beneath you. And then let the right arm relax. And now we'll place the tennis ball, if you were using it, behind the left shoulder. So again, about an inch or two in from the neck, and then an inch or two down from it. Find a position for the arm. So again, you can find movement, lifting, lowering the arm. You just allow the arm to fall wide and heavy. You could draw little circles with the shoulder, just kind of massaging the ball into the back of the shoulder as well. So again, we'll be here about 6 to 8 breaths on the left side. And again, at any point it's too much to have the block underneath the hips, feel free to remove the block. If the tennis ball becomes too much, just do the supported. And just for a note too, your shoulder might feel different right to left. So if one thing felt good on one side, but it doesn't feel good on the other side, don't feel like you have to be even. So if the arm raises or shoulder circles felt good on the right side, but they don't feel good on the left side, then don't do them. Kind of respect whatever feedback your body's giving you. But at the same time, if it didn't feel good on the right, but it feels good on the left, feel free to do it on the left. You don't always have to be even all the time. So we'll just be here again, few more breaths. If you feel like you're now even on both sides, I'm going to remove the tennis ball from under the left shoulder. Lower the left shoulder to the mat. Again, you draw little circles as if you were circling the shoulder blade onto the floor. Just a couple more breaths on your block. Again, if it's become too much at any point, remove that block from underneath the hip. From here, supported shoulder stand. You're going to lift one knee so that it's over your hip, other knee so that it's over your hip. Knees can stay bent, or you'll extend legs to the ceiling, any amount. Your legs might still feel a little tight. We haven't really stretched the legs very much. They don't have to go all the way straight. Think about still pressing the low back into the block or into the floor if you've removed the block. So we'll take about 5 more breaths here. Start to bend the knees. Lower 1 foot at a time to the floor. Once you have feet firmly to the mat, lift the hips, engage the glutes, remove the block, set it to the side, keep it nearby. We might use it again. Lower the hips 1 vertebrae at a time. Think about reaching the tail towards the heels. The tail is the last thing to touch. Take the feet out to teepee position. Feel pulling the feet out wider than the hips, letting the knees rest together at center. And then maybe find a slight pigeon toe in the feet as well. That helps to widen the low back area just a little bit more. Again, we're going to reach for your tennis ball. And this time we're going to do a little cranial sacral with the tennis ball. Again, this one is also an option. If it doesn't feel good for you, if it causes headaches, neck tenderness, tightness, feel free to just leave the head on the floor. If you'd like to use the tennis ball, we're going to place the tennis ball just underneath the head, kind of at the very top of the neck, base of the skull. And the tennis ball will sort of move, shift, and adjust depending on if there's tightness back there. It might shift a little lower, a little higher. We're going to let it sort of meld where it needs to go. Legs can stay in teepee position. You're also free to extend your legs forward if that's more comfortable. Arms back into a wide A or even a T position as well. And we'll just take another 8 breaths or so here. And feel free to take little rocks, movement side to side on the tennis ball, massaging the tennis ball to the back of the neck, the base of the skull. If it feels like that tennis ball is going to pop out, maybe just hold and pull. Be gentle on this one. Doesn't take a whole lot of pressure to have an effect. We don't want to push it to where we really feel a lot of sensation. Bring one hand behind your head to support the back of the head. Remove the tennis ball. Lengthen the skull upwards, almost like you're trying to lift the head off the shoulders and then lower your head back to the floor. Let the arms fall back heavy. Roll your head to the left. About as far as you can go comfortably without strain in your neck. Letting your right ear, your right cheek rest towards the mat. Take 5 breaths in. Bring the head back to center, and then you'll do the same thing to the other. Maybe noticing if one side has more range of motion, one side maybe feels tighter, stiffer, a little more sore or resistant. Good. Bring your head to center. Feel free to rock it a little bit side to side. Start to windshield wiper the knees a little side to side. Get some movement back into the low body. Knees back to center. Give them a hug back into your chest. Palms to the kneecaps. Draw some circles. Massaging into your low back. And then setting feet to the floor. You're going to reach for your yoga strap now. And what we're going to do is actually buckle this yoga strap so that it creates a loop. And you want to buckle that in a way that that loop is a sliding loop. So you can adjust the length of the loop, shorter or longer, depending. Now we're going to have a couple different options for this next stretch. So we're going to Start to kind of stretch out passively the backs of the legs, the low back a little bit, do some forward fold. So we're going to start with just the right leg into your strap. You'll draw your right knee into your chest and then wrap the strap around the arch of the right foot, extending the right leg to the ceiling. Now, option one, if this is the most comfortable version for you, you can stay right here, 2 hands gripping the strap. Option two, for something a little bit easier so your hands don't have to grip the strap, you can place that strap into the crook of your right elbow and then shorten the strap so that the elbow is actually holding the leg up and it's not the hands, you don't have the strength. Option three is called the hammock, and it's a little cranial sacral. So you're going to lift the head from the floor, place that loop behind the head at the base of the skull. So the weight of the upper body, the weight of the head is going to stretch the back of the leg. The weight of the leg is going to support the head. So you can kind of adjust, shift that strap, maybe lengthen as needed, shorten as needed. And again, we want it just at the base of the skull, so it's not around your neck. We don't want to strangle you. Maybe even a little higher so the strap's kind of behind the ears. Whatever position feels most comfortable. Again, we just don't want it around the center of the neck. And then you'll just relax here, letting the head relax back. That weight lifts the leg. And then the counterweight of the leg pressing forward to lift to that head and shoulder. Arms can go heavy. And if you want a little more, feel free to extend your left leg forward, as long as that doesn't cause too much sensation for the leg. Again, the hammock option is a complete option. Might not feel good for you. So again, you could have the strap in the crook of the elbow, or you could just fold the strap with both hands. Another great supportive option is to put the strap around your waist so that the waist, the upper body is holding the leg up, so the hands, the arms don't have to do it. We're going to be here on this side for about 6 to 8 more breaths. If you are in the hammock, to come out of the hammock, reach up with both hands, grab a hold of the strap, soften the knee to get slack to the strap, and then remove the strap from behind your head. Lower head and shoulders down, re-extend the right leg up to the ceiling just for a breath. And then go ahead, bend the right knee into the chest, remove the strap from around the right foot, hug the right knee into your chest, and draw some circles with just your right knee. Feel free to let your head rock a little side to side as well, releasing any tension from your neck, shoulders, jaw. And then for now, we'll keep the right knee bent. Just place the right foot on the floor. Keep the right foot on the floor for now. Bring your left knee into your chest. We're going to switch sides. So again, option one, strap goes around the arch of the left foot. Hands hold the strap as you extend the left leg to the ceiling. Option two, you hook that loop into the left elbow and let the left elbow kind of hold the strap for you. Third option is your hammock, lifting head and shoulders, sliding the strap behind your head. Again, finding a comfortable position behind the head that's not on the neck itself, slightly higher. And then a comfortable length on the strap. So if it's too much sensation in the back of the leg, maybe lengthen the strap. If it's too much sensation in the upper body, you might need to shorten the strap. Option to extend the right leg forward. But again, if extending the leg forward on this side doesn't feel quite right, feel free to keep the knee bent. Don't worry about always being even. Another few breaths on this side. Now again, to come out of the hammock, both hands grip either edge of the strap or either side of the strap. Soften the left knee to loosen, remove the strap, lower your head and shoulders, give the leg one more kick up to the ceiling, and then bend your knee back into the chest, remove the strap, but hang on to it. We're gonna use it one more time. Hug the left knee in, draw a couple circles. Maybe rock your head side to side. Bring your right knee up to meet your left knee. Draw circles again with both knees. And now we're going to place the strap around the arches of both feet. The strap going around the arches of both feet. We're going to extend both legs to the ceiling. Again, option, just hold onto that strap with both hands. Second option, choose an elbow to place the strap in to support both legs. Third option, you're going to go back into your hammock. This one's a lot more intense than the single side. So make sure it feels okay on this side. Make sure your strap is lengthened enough. Mine's a little short, so it's kind of lifting my tailbone up from the ground. Not really what I want, but you can counter that by pressing the legs forward. Head and shoulders will lift a little higher. But again, my strap's a little short to do this one properly. I should have more space. So we kind of want a nice long shape rather than the legs straight up to the ceiling with a little collapse. But it still feels pretty good. Again, hammock is purely an option. We've got about 8 more breaths here. Again, to come out of it, reach for that strap with both hands. Bend both knees for flat. Remove the strap, set the head down. Keep the strap around your legs. Re-extend both legs to the ceiling. Now you're going to take a nice wide straddle. Straddling the legs as wide as it feels good to you against that strap. If you have space, you might still be able to hook that strap into your elbow, or if that strap's a little short, you might have to hold on to one side with both hands. For me, it's a little too short to even hold on to the strap. So I'm just going to open the legs as wide against the strap as I can and let the strap completely support the leg. You can seesaw or rock this side to side as well. That can feel good on the low back. Gonna work a little different into the hips. We'll be here a couple more breaths. We're going to turn this into a happy baby. So gripping onto that strap, start to bend the knees towards the armpit. And you're going to hold onto that strap wherever it works for you. Center of the strap, sides of the strap, bending the knees towards the armpit. Flex your feet to the ceiling. Press your low back into the floor. We'll take about 5 more breaths here. Find some slack on your strap. Start to slide the feet and knees back together at center. Remove the strap from around your feet. Go ahead, set it to the side, knees back into the chest. Place your palms on your kneecaps, now drawing in and out, so circling the knees away from each other, around, back together. Do about 5 or 6 in one direction, and then 5 or 6 back the other direction. And once you're even in both directions, bring the knees back together, give them another hug into your chest. Step both feet to the floor, about hips width distance apart. Take another few windshield wipers at the knees. Take these really slow, so almost spend a breath or two from side to side. We add just a little bit of a twist. The head might fall the opposite of the knee as you go side to side as well. Again, it's just a couple more slow windshield wipers. Ensure you're even in both directions. Bring your knees back to center. Once the knees are centered, lift the backs of your shoulders. So you're arching the rib cage up. Spread the backs of the shoulder blades, and then lower that space between the shoulder blades to the floor, kind of melting down through the spine. And now do that to the hips. You're going to lift the hips, reach the tail towards the heel, and then sort of roll the hips back down to the back. Feel free to keep your knees bent. Maybe come back to TP, or extend one leg forward out in front of you, second leg forward out in front of you. Always supporting the body as needed with pillows or blocks. Maybe letting the legs fall the width or even wider than your yoga, taking up lots of space. Arms in a position that feels good, whether they're equally wide, maybe wider than the left, or folded over your body. Just any areas of your body that need to be shifted, to lengthen, adjusted. Take a deep breath in through your nose. As you exhale, open your mouth. Take a nice long breath out. Again, breathe in through the nose. Open your mouth, let it all come. Bottom of this exhale, let your lips be light, softly feeling, lightly enough your teeth can still help. Allow your tongue to soften, relax, fall from the roof of your mouth. Soften the muscles of your throat, back of your shoulders. Soften the muscles of your neck, allowing your head to fall heavily to the floor. Soften down the length of your spine, all the way to the tip of your soften down the length of your arms, all the way to each of your fingers. Soften your belly, your glutes, pelvis. Soften your thighs, knees, shins, and insides. Soften your feet and each one of your toes. Slowly moving back up through your body. Once more, softening any areas that might still be holding. Continuously softening, lowering your into the body. Let the lift light all. You start to bring gentle movement back into your toes, fingers, hands, feet, head, foot. It's a nice long stretch as if you've just woken in the morning. With an exhale, bend your knees. Just lifting your feet to the floor today. Let the arms fall back heavy. Take some final windshield wipers of the knees side to side, releasing any residual tension from your lower. When you're ready, let your body roll all the way to one side. You're keeping your head nice and heavy, face soft, your eyes closed. Start to slowly press yourself up. Thank you all very much.